The question I get asked most often is, how do I choose a coaching training provider? I'm a coach trainer and also a leadership coach for around 10 years now, and it's one of the questions we get asked most frequently because there's just so many options on the market, and I think people get confused about who they should train with, what they should look for. What about accreditation? How do you know if a course is a good one? They all look the same. So we get asked a lot of questions and find ourselves explaining a lot how you should go about choosing a coaching training provider that meets your needs. So I've put together this short presentation, should be between 10 to 12 minutes, guiding you through some of the key points to think about when making a decision about a coaching training provider. And also I will unravel the mystery around accreditation. So that's accreditation about courses and also accreditation post-qualification, because sometimes the two can get confused. So if that's you, if you're thinking about finding a coaching training provider and you don't know what to do next, then spend the next 10 minutes here and hopefully your questions will be answered. Okay, so here we go. It's important to tell you now that I do offer coaching and mentoring qualifications, which are accredited by the ILM, and we've got programs that you can book onto now in Reading, Bristol, and Plymouth. But that said, there are providers for everyone, and my main aim here is to help you to understand the differences between the qualifications on offer and for you to make your decision easier. So let's get started. Okay, first things first, your objective should be the number one thing really that informs your decision. What I mean by that is, what do you want to be doing with your qualification when you complete it? You're likely to fall somewhere between wanting to be a full-time self-employed coach or adding to your skill set to do some coaching and mentoring, perhaps within your current job. So your objective can inform that decision, and we'll talk more about that shortly. For now, have a think about how do you like to learn. So different training providers will offer different approaches. Some will work in small groups, offering plenty of contact time with the facilitators, maybe one-to-one or small group feedback, and others are going to train in large groups, sometimes in excess of 100 people. So the level of interactivity in that training will be affected by group size, so just have a think about the experience you want to have. How much time and space do you need to ask questions or clarify your assumptions? Maybe also think about, do you like lots of theory or do you prefer to get hands-on and get stuck in? So your style really is going to be something that informs, and find out really what you can about the delivery method, the content, and the group size. It's your preferences that will guide you in helping you to find a supplier that meets your needs. So personally, we speak to all of our delegates because we want to make sure that anyone joining our course is a good match, so that we're a good match for them and that they're also a good match for us. So I would encourage you to speak to your preferred suppliers before you sign up to anything, to make sure that the match is right for you there as well. As well as your needs, have a think about how you want to study and qualify. So do you prefer practical assignments or theory-based? Do you want the support of a tutor, or do you want to learn independently? Would you like your assessment to be essay-based or maybe practical? Generally speaking, you'll be expected to do a certain number of coaching hours and submit a portfolio of evidence and reflective practice as an absolute minimum for your qualification. But different providers are going to vary in the experiences that they offer. But what about accreditation? So take a deep breath, as this is where it gets a bit confusing. To understand the different accreditation paths, first we should talk about the coaching industry itself. So the coaching and mentoring industry is an unregulated market, which basically means that anybody can call themselves a coach and start working with clients. Personally, I don't think that's ideal, and thankfully there are three main bodies who work really hard to provide a level of quality assurance to the market, and these are the ICF, the Association for Coaching, and the EMCC. Let's first take a look at the coaching body course accreditation. So when a coaching body accredits a course, it essentially says this course is a good course. They would have reviewed the content, the learning outcomes, the delivery method, the trainers, and essentially they believe it's an ethical, well put together training program that will produce good coaches. So you can be reassured that if you're picking a qualification that's underpinned by one of the main coaching bodies, it's going to be a good, solid program. Another way of accrediting your course is through the ILM. Now, you may recognise the term City and Guilds, and in the UK they've been a long-term provider of vocational qualifications. The ILM has a strong history with City and Guilds. Now today they are a professional body that seek to build and create strong leaders, and because of that they're well known in organisations. Now, given their history, a qualification from the ILM is a recognised certified qualification awarded from the UK's qualification framework. That's the same qualification framework that are able to issue those vocational qualifications through City and Guilds. It's a regulated body by Ofqual. So all providers that offer ILM qualifications are audited regularly, and they are able to provide awards, certificates and diplomas. Now, there are many training providers that claim to offer diplomas, but if their diplomas aren't on the qualification framework through a body such as the ILM, then they're simply given by the organisation that you train with. Without some kind of accreditation, it would be difficult to know the standard of the training on offer. Now, one last thing on course accreditation. An ILM qualification is not the same as an ILM endorsed programme. An ILM endorsed programme is similar to the accreditation by the coaching bodies. And it says, we, the ILM, endorse this programme as a good programme. It very much meets our standards. Okay, so what about personal accreditation or professional accreditation, if you like? So once you've done your qualification, you've got the option of becoming accredited by a coaching body. Now, accreditation is a step beyond qualification. It certifies your practice as a coach or mentor. The personal accreditation is a way to quality mark your practice. And not all coaches take this option, but it's very much available to everybody. What I mean by that is anybody that has a qualification, whether it's accredited or not. Now, there's several levels of accreditation, and each of the three main bodies offer different levels. So, for example, the EMCC has foundation, practitioner, senior practitioner, and master coach. Now, all of that said, if you have done a course that's accredited by a coaching body, the process of becoming accredited is often quicker, simpler, and cheaper. Now, recently, the EMCC has formed a partnership with the ILM in recognition of the robust qualifications that the ILM offer. And this partnership is in its infancy, but at the time of this presentation, it's currently unclear what this means for personal accreditation. But essentially, accreditation is where you have to prove that you meet the standards of whichever level you're applying for, and that will include your qualification, almost certainly, but also your CPD, the supervision that you undertake, the reading that you've done, the reflective practice, the evidence against the competencies that the accreditation levels require. So there's a portfolio of work that goes behind accrediting. Okay, so I'm going to pause there and just do a recap. So the coaching industry is unregulated. Anyone can call themselves a coach. And so to distinguish yourself, the quality mark is through course accreditation by coaching bodies or by the ILM. The professional accreditation is different to course accreditation, and this accreditation offers a pathway to quality assure your coaching practice. So another question we get asked is, can I qualify as a coach in a weekend? Now, there are a number of training providers who offer short coaching courses, and this is where we go back to your original objective. Now, if you want to gain some coaching skills and blend this into your role, or maybe you're passionate about coaching and mentoring, or maybe you've had a previous coaching qualification and you just want to refresh or update your skills, then a short course could be just what you need. But if you're serious about coaching and mentoring and you want to offer one-to-one coaching services, either internally or as a coach, then I would recommend you go for an accredited course. There's really no quick way to become a coach. You only get good at it through practice, and ultimately you're going to trade on your reputation, so it's worth the investment of time. And if it helps you to make your decision, you could see your coaching qualification as just the start. So even at the end of your qualification, you can have a lifetime of CPD ahead of you if you want to. It depends really how deep you want to go with the subject. You're never really done as a coach. There's always something you can learn. I've been a coach for 10 years now, and I continually learn through the coaching sessions that I have, the supervision that I do, the short courses that I go on, the reading that I do. It's very much a passion for me, but that's one of the things that attracts me to the profession. My parting message to you is to make your decision based on your needs and how you want to use your skills at the end of it. Just have the profession in mind. If you want to join a reputable, respected coaching profession, then make a decision that's going to support that objective. And if you'd like to find out more about our qualifications that are accredited by the ILM, then please visit our website www.igcompany.co.uk or email me at hello@zoehawkins.com, and we'd be delighted to speak to you about what we have to offer. Thanks very much. Bye.